An endorsement from former President Donald Trump was not enough to sway Republican voters deciding a runoff of a congressional seat representing Ellis, Navarro, and parts of Tarrant County. Susan Wright, widow of former Congressman Ron Wright, got the endorsement early on to replace her husband, who died in February after contracting COVID-19. But her competitor, Jake Ellzey, was declared the winner tonight after holding a solid lead. Fox 4 Stephen Dial live in Arlington with reactions. Stephen.
Clary State Representative Jake Ellzey is now Congressman-elect. Despite not having the endorsement from former President Donald Trump, he edged out his competitor, Susan Wright, who was hoping to fill her late husband's seat for the 6th Congressional District here in Texas. Let's take a look at the results again. With 98% of polling locations reporting, Ellzey won with 53% to 46% of the vote. Earlier this evening, Ellzey talked with 47% of the vote. Correction. Ellzey talked to supporters earlier this evening at his watch party. He had the support from former Texas Governor Rick Perry, as well as many Texas legislators. He's currently a representative in Texas, and his performance in the general election knocked out any chance for a Democrat to compete for the seat. In November, Ellzey carried Ellis County, but Wright won Tarrant and Navarro. Tonight, Ellzey gained in Tarrant, winning the county. Tonight, reporters asked him about if the election was a surprise and what he thought about the role of Trump's endorsement. How did it play? He didn't directly mention Trump's name, but he did have this to say about the campaign dynamics.
And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of political scientists looking at the various aspects of this campaign for a long time to come, based on the personalities involved and the way the campaigns were run. So that's for other people to worry about. You know, what I'm worried about now is in the next few days, taking the oath of office in Washington, D.C. and doing the work for the people of the 6th District of Texas.
On the other end of the race, the crowd was very lively all night until Susan Wright spoke and conceded the race. Again, she was hoping to fill her late husband's seat. Ron Wright died last year due to cancer complications and COVID. And now Wright was talking with supporters. She had a lot of support, of course, from President Trump, him reiterating his endorsement of her when she made it to the runoff. But she also had support from state and local lawmakers as well. She was running to try to mirror President Trump's campaign, talking about things like the border, building the border wall, and talking about tax cuts. It was not enough, though, in this race. She did not perform as well in Tarrant County, a county that she won in the general election. She started to get emotional when she thanked her supporters and thought about her husband and hoping to finish his race. Take a listen.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate everything you did. Please, please, please don't stop your engagement. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. I love you. Thank you to all of the Wright staff. From the bottom of my heart, you're wonderful. Thank you.
Amen.
Tonight, Governor Abbott reacting to the results and congratulating Jake Ellzey, who is now Congressman-elect. The governor called him a strong and effective leader, and Governor Abbott says he hopes to work with him and other Republican members of Congress when he gets to Congress. And so a lot of reaction, some people seeing this race as an upset. Ellzey saying that he had the support. It wasn't about the president's endorsement, but again, not mentioning the president by name.